This is United Rock Nations, and we are with Max and Igor Cavalera. So guys, what's up?
All good, all
good. So, the 20th February 1996 was the day of the release of Roots. How was your feeling at that moment?
Excited, you know. Every time we make a new record, it's always it's an excitement. We try real hard to make different albums all the time, and Roots was one of those. You know, it was a lot of experimental stuff, and we didn't know how the crowd and fans was going to react. But France was actually the first country that embraced Roots. It was very well received here, so yes. I'm very happy for the French received Roots so good, you know.
Thank you. Roots was inspired by the At Play in the Field of the Lord movie about the Amazonian Indian tribes. How it was important to talk about that?
Well, I think it's in the center of the album because it's the roots of Brazilian music, before samba, before bossa nova.
Yes.
You know,
yeah.
Before Carnival, there was the Indian music.
And before like the influence of European or even African to Brazil. So it's like we couldn't go any deeper into our roots itself musically, talking about Brazil. That's where the whole thing started. So like Max said, it was a very special moment. We knew we were experimenting with a lot of things at the time, and there was a lot of also influences, you know, like from like the movie. You said it to go into the Chavantes, but also like musically, I think all of us, we really were pushing ourselves forward to create an album that became what it is now. And to be revisiting this right now, it's very special.
Okay. How Jonathan Davis and Mike Patton were involved on the album?
I think Mike was Igor's idea. He was Igor's friend, and you know, we're big Faith No More fans. And it was Igor has spent some time with Mike in Brazil, you know, so we became kind of friends. So it was very cool, you know.
Yeah. I mean, all the collaborations we had, usually it's either people that we really good friends or people that we really big fans, and somehow we end up doing something together. And Mike was one of those guys where we were doing some stuff with Roots. We were like, his name came up and he was like, yeah, I'll come down. And same with like all the people from you know, from Korn and all the way to DJ Lethal at the time, and even Carlinhos Brown. It was someone that we had a name that we wanted to experiment. So.
Okay. At that time, did you imagine that Roots would have such impact on the metal scene?
Nah, I mean, I think we felt the record was special, you know. There was something mystic about it, and we were onto something different, you know. And even on the mixing, when we were listening to the mixes in New York, we felt this is crazy. This album is crazy. It's different from everything we've done. But you never really know what's gonna happen to the record. It's not on your control.
Yes.
You know, it's on the fans' hands and the public and you know, critics and stuff like that. You know.
Yes. Yes.
But I'm very happy with what happened with it. You know, influenced a lot of people, made a lot of bands look into their own roots in all different parts of the world. You know, so yeah, it was. I'm very happy we made this record, and I'm very happy to be able to play now after 21 years. That's even more crazy that we are still here playing, you know.
Yeah.
Still alive and still enjoying it and still having fun with it, you know. It's great.
Okay. If you had to change something to the album today, what would it be?
Nothing.
Yeah. It's a very difficult.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, and also like, if we would go back and change, I don't think it would work
Yes.
Because anything we do, if we don't put an end to it, we just can keep going. You know, like for example, when we write an album, we have to put the deadlines on ourselves to be like, yeah, we need, this is done, and then we can move forward. And Roots is the same thing. So, you know, in an album like Roots, maybe in an earlier album when we were in Brazil with the very difficult ways of recording our music, maybe I would love to had the first 2 records, the EP and Morbid Visions, done in a better like way. Even though they're special the way they are, but I think they don't do justice to the way we were playing those songs live at the time. I think they sounded much better. But the Roots, I wouldn't mess with it.
Yeah, and the only thing it's kind of cool that we're doing on this tour is it's the fast Roots that we do in the end of the show, because the Roots demo had a fast ending, you know, and we didn't put on the record. I think it's cool that we didn't put on the record because we get to play it now, you know. So now we do 2 versions of Roots,
Yes.
which is great. I think we do one in the beginning and one in the end, and I think only few bands do that. Queen did that in Queen Life Killer. They play We Will Rock You Twice, you know. And I think we did it. We're doing it on this tour, and it's so cool to play the same song, but different from
Different
2
version,
different
yeah,
versions
yeah,
of the
it's cool.
same song, you know. And I think the crowd is not expecting that, and in the end, it's really cool. It's really special.
Okay. Let's talk about the new Cavalera Conspiracy album, Psychosis. Our opinion is that the songs are like a return to roots, to the songs you used to play on the 90s. Are you agree with that?
I think it has the spirit of that era, you know, but we were trying to go for it, but with a kind of a sound of right now, of noise, of the stuff we listen to right now, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of past and present, you know.
Okay.
And I think it's a lot faster as an album itself. Roots, it's a slower record, which I love also. But I think the fact that we did this Roots tour, it kind of like pushed us to do something even more different with this Psychosis. So that in that sense, I think Roots was very positive, even for that. Like it pushed me and Max to go a little faster, you know, like picking up the riffs and the beats. We're all like pushing each other to go a little more than what we're doing here. So in that sense, I think it's very different than Roots. But somehow it does have some of the 90s stuff that we still love to this day.
Yeah, I think the record, I like it a lot. And I still think there's some really cool stuff on it. Like one of my favorite things on Psychosis is the title track, the instrumental, which I started with Igor's recording, you know, in Uganda, Africa, and that's really kind of goes back to Roots.
Yes.
Actually. Like
Yes.
that's really that song could have been on Roots,
Yeah.
easily. You know?
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool because it's kind of like the first kind of tribal prog rock song, you know, ever done, you know. So and that and Hellfire also is one of my favorite because it has, you know, Justin from Godflesh, and it has that very heavy industrial vibe to it.
And
you know?
the cool thing about Hellfire, I think it's almost like a tribute to Godflesh. I remember when we wrote the song, it had a bit of, but once we knew that he was involved, we pushed even a little further to have that kind of like the street cleaner kind of vibe to it. And even Justin, he came up to me later and he was like, man, I haven't sing like this since Street Cleaner. So we made him somehow go back to those times without asking. And like Max said, those 2 songs, out of like all the crazy stuff that we did, they're so special in different ways. It's really cool.
Makes the record deep. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah. It's not just a return to thrash death metal record. There's more to it.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, the more people listen to it, I mean, you can even go even back as Morbid Visions with a track like Judas Pariah, you know, because it's got that crazy drumming and very black metal riff, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool. It was was a good record to make. And it was done in the right way with the right people. Arthur was a great producer. Joe Grind from Talks Holocaust, master.
Yeah,
it was a good team.
An amazing team, and also it was good times. Even though I was sick at the time, I got really sick when I was recording, but still I pushed myself to the limit, and it was great to have, you know, Max and Arthur, the producer, really pushing me to be like do more and do different stuff. So I was really pleased when I came home. I was like, wow, I was relieved that was the way they came out.
After the Return to Roots tour, do you plan to tour with Cavalera Conspiracy?
Next year, you know.
Next year?
Yeah, we have nothing official yet, but we're gonna come up with something, you know, because it's a really cool record. I think it's, you know, it'll be fun to play.
Okay.
Especially a lot of this. We are playing one song on this tour right now. You know,
cool.
excruciating.
An aperitif.
Yeah, just a little taste.
Yeah.
Yes.
We picked the last song of the album, which is cool because it's like unexpected, you know.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool. I think it's a little taste. I love it. I think it's great. I think it'll be a lot of fun when we do the real tour, you know.
How do you manage your time between Cavalera Conspiracy, Soulfly, Return to Roots?
Everything. Well, I think we got to the point where it's really important for us to do our things in our right time.
Yes.
And I think it's working great because we do give space to our other projects, and also we give the right respect to Cavalera Conspiracy. So I think a combination of those things, that's what makes it special. So we're always like going back and forth between everything that we do, but every time we step into the Cavalera, it has this energy to it because we really respect that a lot, I think, you know.
Yeah, I also love the challenges that every project has. It's a bit different from each other, and there's always like sonic music talking. There are different things that goes on those projects, you know, and I think it's cool to, as a musician, I think it really opens up broaden your mind, you know, to really try to do different things, and you gotta get real creative, you know. So otherwise all the projects will sound the same, and we don't want to do that, you know. And each one of them is very special, you know. So, you know, we pay a lot of attention to each one of the things that we do to make the best possible thing, you know.